Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 4th. This week, really very straightforward, which is like every single sign has been very direct this week so far that I've read for so far. Yours is definitely all about planning things, planning for the future. Makes a lot of sense during this Mercury retrograde. Going back over things comes up a lot. You start off with the Five of Clubs, which is all about learning and ideas that you have and strengthening even ideas that you have. So, if you have any ideas for a business, if you have any ideas to start a relationship with somebody, if you have any ideas to get a new job or improve your job, it doesn't matter. Any idea you have. The Five of Clubs asks you to, create a plan around those things. Planning seems to be a huge theme for 2016. Definitely a lot of signs, even in my personal readings. For a lot of people, the word planning and a lot of cards that involve planning, like this one right here, have been coming up for people. So, it just seems to be a major theme for the year that, right here at the beginning. And, I know that of course you could say, well, that makes sense because everybody's always planning something at the beginning of the year. But this is it seems like a lot deeper. I think on one level, I think people are actually going to do it. I think that's one of the main differences. Everybody always plans something at the beginning of the year, like a New Year's resolution, all this other stuff, but it just feels different to me this year. I mean, it's hard for me to describe, but I think people are actually going to start taking advantage of planning and structuring things. So any ideas you have, plan them out. And you have the Five of Clubs next, which I'm getting is the energy around you. And the Five of Clubs, the Queen of Clubs is what I meant to say. And the Queen of Clubs, she is like the planner. I mean, she would totally plan everything out, and she'd get a good, solid plan of how she's going to move forward. She even can see into the future in a lot of ways. So, you might even want to be looking at the future and looking at what you can do and how you can make your life better this year and really kind of move forward and plan things out. There's a lot of stuff around friends here as well. I want to just touch on that real quick. A lot of you could be seeing your friends this week, going back to friends and things like that. So just be aware of that. It could be a very fun week in that situation. So, definitely enjoy it. We also have this retrograde going on. We're stepping into this Mercury retrograde. Great Mercury retrograde, as far as I'm concerned, is a great time to learn. Great time to learn old things, new things, go back over things. It's a great time for all of this, and that's what she would do. She would even, again, look to the future and be like, okay, how can I get here, wherever she wants to go? So a lot of you could be doing that. Next, you have the Four of Clubs. I call this card Mercury retrograde. It is literally the Mercury retrograde card. Four of Clubs is a card of needing to go back over things, needing to double check things. So definitely just do the typical retrograde stuff this week. Don't stress out about it, but definitely double check things. But it's a big planning card. Remember, fours represent the home, and the Four of Clubs is kind of like thinking about how to build a home. That's what the card kind of represents. So, you're not maybe literally building a home, but you could be thinking about how to structure your life, which is kind of, very similar. And that's what this card means. It means thinking a lot in the home. A lot of you could be even learning from the home, looking at how you could learn from home, learning new skills, reading books. I know that's kind of mundane, but it's what's coming up is that learning is going to be really important to you, especially with this card. But definitely also, as a side note, double check things. And next you have a very interesting card, the Lovers. This deck that I use has 4 of the major arcana from the tarot in it. And the Lovers is all about multiple paths, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not really that much of a love card. It's actually about choosing things and having 2 choices and choosing what you're going to do. I think a lot of you have gone through a very confusing time. I'm a Pisces. I totally understand the water sign thing, and I've been even very confused for the past few weeks about what I want to do and how I want to move forward and all of this other stuff. I think a lot of water signs are going through that, but actually I think now you're finally down to a choice this week. You're like, okay, I'm making a decision now, and you're going to make that choice. So what's the right answer? What do you choose? That's what people always ask on this card, and I always say, well, the answer is always your highest and best, what you believe. It's actually your, morals, what you believe in the most. So you might be presented with 2 choices, maybe a really high-paying job and a lower-paying job, but maybe the higher-paying job asks you to do some things you're not comfortable with, and the lower-paying job kind of more, while it's lower-paying, it really lines up with what you believe. So, that's what you need to choose with the Lovers, because the Lovers is one of those cards where it's you choose the higher paying job, that's worse, it always goes down, and then the lower paying job kind of always goes up, like that, but you just don't see that right away. That's kind of why it's a challenge to choose which one. And finally, you have the Six of Spades. Six of Spades, all about improving, making some improvements in your life, incremental improvements. I really like to see this card because it really allows you to move forward. So really good to see this as well. Some improvements happening. While they might be slow, might take its time, they're coming, and that's all that matters. So thank you for watching. It looks like a very interesting, like thoughtful week. So enjoy it.